Hello, my name is Justin Paul. I am a data engineer. Today I am trying to demonstrate how to implement Gmail APIs using Python. So today I am trying to do it from the scratch. So let's start. Okay, the ID which I am using for the project is Visual Studio Code. So we can start with the project folder. We will be creating a project folder. So Gmail API. This is the project folder. Now we can open this folder in our Visual Studio Code. Okay, our project has been opened. So what we have to do is we have to create a virtual environment before starting doing the project. The virtual environment is the process which we are doing it for creating an isolated environment for the particular project. So it will be independent with other Python project which we are doing in our system. So we can separately install the different versions of the modules or libraries for this particular project. So that we will be using the terminal. First, we will check for the Python, whether the Python is installed or not. So Python is installed. So next we will be checking for the pip. Pip is the package installer for Python. Pip version we are checking. Again, that is also installed. So we will go to the documentation for installing the virtual environment. This is how we will be installing the virtual environment in Windows. And if you're using Mac OS, this will be the link. So this will be the command. So it is already installed in my system. So we can create the virtual environment using this command. So the command is py space -m virtual environment, and we will give a name. I am giving Gmail env. So this is created. You can see it is created here. So now what we have to do is we have to activate it in order to use it. So since we are running it in from PowerShell, we are going to the Gmail env scripts, and you can see I can open it here. Scripts. We will be using activate.ps1 since it is a PowerShell command. If it is CMD command, you can use that. If it is a Unix command, directly you can activate it. And here we will be activating .ps1. So it is activated, you can see. So we can check. We can just create a sample. Normally I will do like this, sample ref.py. Just write print hello world. Execute it. So everything is fine. Okay, this is getting printed. So virtual environment is set. So we can start with official Gmail document for using the API, Gmail API. So this is the official document. I will give this link in the below description. Okay, so here using the Gmail API, you can do whatever normally we are using with Gmail from a coding point of view. Here I am trying to implement that in Python. So that mainly we can read the email, write the email, delete the email, segregate it, and we can do the migrations. Today we are planning to do the we are trying to send the email and search the email using a keyword. So we can start with the quick start. For that, Python. So it is having the steps. We have to set up the environment and install the client library, set up the sample and run the sample. For that, we have Python. We checked it. We have the Python. We have the pip, and we have created the virtual environment as well. Now we have to enable the API. So we have to go to the GCP. We have to go to the Google Cloud. For the corresponding, we have to open with the corresponding email address that we are going to call. Okay, go to the console. we have to create the project if you're doing it for the first time. Otherwise, we can go to the APIs, enable APIs. If we go to Gmail API, we have to enable it and we have to create the credentials as well. So mine is already enabled it. I will just show you by disabling it and enabling it again. Disable it, disable. Okay, normally this will be the first screen when we open the Gmail API. If you are doing it for the first time, we have to enable it. It will take a few seconds and it will get enabled. Okay, now it is enabled. So next step is we have to create the credentials. Go to the credentials. We have to create the credentials. We have to create OAuth credentials. Desktop app we are creating. Gmail API samples, same name I can give. And we have to download the JSON file. It will be JSON file. It will be kind of the key. We will be using this key to connect to the Gmail API. And if you're doing it for the first time, it will ask to create a sample application. We can give a name and the author name, that kind of details we can give. This is the sample application name. I have already created it. So it didn't ask for the application creation. So it is already downloaded. Now we have to go to the downloads. Okay, this is my previous downloads. We can delete it. So this is the latest download. We can change the name to credentials. As per the wish, we can give whatever name. It doesn't matter. We have to copy these credentials to our project folder. So our basic steps has been done. We have the credentials, we have the file. Now we will be checking the document. So this is the step-by-step process how to create it. We enabled the API. We have created the credentials. We have given the credentials file name. And now we have to create, install the Google library. Copy it, paste it. It is getting installed. After that, we will be using the sample code provided by Google. Okay, that's fine. So we copy paste it. We are running it. It will ask for the authentication. We have to give the corresponding email address that we are using. Continue. This is the application name. Continue. Yeah, the authentication has been done completely. So yeah, the labels has been fetched. So I will just go through the code. So here we are trying to, this is just a sample code. Here we are trying to fetch the labels from our email to check the established connection is correctly or not. So here, this is the authorization part. See, authentication, how it will be doing is like we will be using this credentials JSON file, and using that we will be creating a token. Why we are creating the token is because since we have already created the token, next time onwards, we don't need to do the web authentication again and again. So it didn't ask for the authentication because the token is already created. So this is the code. First time, if you're running it for first time, it will check for the token code. Token, it will not be there. So it will create this token. It will do the authentication and create the token. So you can see we are running it again. And one more thing I will show you. This is the labels. So we will check whether it is correct or not. So this is the email. This is my email. So you can see this is the labels and this is the sample label which I have created. So you can see this is a match. So the connection has been established and we can run the code. So we can try it like by deleting the token. I can show you. The token has been deleted. So if you run it again, it will ask for the authentication, web authentication. So that is why we need a token. Otherwise, again and again, we have to do it. Each time when you call the API, we have to give this approval. So that is done. So these are the logic. I have already explained it. Checking for the token in this file location, sorry, the project location. If it is not there, we will create it using the credentials, and we will write the CRUD information. This is the object that we are using, CRUDs, using this class and method object. We are creating this one flow, and using the flow, we are creating this object. This object we are directly writing to the token. So next time onwards, directly we can use the tokens. Okay, so that part is done. So after creating the CRUDs object, using the CRUD object, we are building a service. Using the service, we are calling the different APIs. So this is the normal method. So this sample has been executed successfully. So now we will be creating our own Python file. I'm giving a name called main.py. So also whatever name as per the wish, we can give it. So I am planning to implement this in a class. So the class name is Gmail API. I can give Gmail API is the class. So it will be having two methods. I'm planning to give Gmail underscore send underscore message self. I'm passing a parameter called self. Self is just the object reference that we are using to call this class. So we can try to write it send message. Second method, what we are planning to is search for email using the keyword. So here what we are planning to do is search. So this is the two methods which we are planning to do, and we have to create a constructor for this. So the constructor means that will be a piece of code will be automatically getting called when we create a object of this class. So here I am planning to implement our authentication process in this constructor. So the method for the constructor is this session. We are passing self, then printing initialization. Initials. Okay, so this is done. Okay. So this is the skeleton structure of our class. And what we are doing is like, this is the main part is we are checking whether the Python file is calling directly. So we are checking with main to underscore main. We can create the object of this class, checking whether it is correctly using the object. We are calling the Gmail method object dot search. So these are the basic things we are trying to run it. So initials it's getting called. So the construction is getting called. This part is getting called. This part is so the basic skeleton is ready. So now we will be trying to implement our authentication part first. So authentication we will be copying it from the sample code which Google has provided. So we can start with the includes. So we can start with the libraries that we need to import. So this one, OS, this everything has been installed. So go to the main. Now we have to maintain the scope. So this will be the first one. Here we are doing the scope. Scope is fine. Now from the ref, what we are doing is we need to copy paste these things till try we are doing it. Okay, we have to be careful with this. Okay, so the authentication part we are doing it again. Self, so the parameters value we will give self dot, since it is inside the class, self dot, all the cred value we will change with self dot cred, self dot cred, self dot cred. Cred. Mhm. Okay, the authentication part we can try. Now we can try this part as well. Authentication. We have to, as per the recommendation of Google, we have to use the try and accept when you are using these APIs. So let us try to run it. We have this part, I guess it's fine. We can delete the token. We can try to run it again. Save it, run it. It will ask for authentication. Because since we have changed the code, maybe the previous token will not work. Authentication is completed. Okay, so it is having some code error cred to API 38, where's 38? Maybe we have to give self. Okay, cool. So that is getting called. The connection is fine, and this both functions are fine. So the authentication part is completed. So we will just we don't need to print the labels. This is just sake of this quick start sample. So we will just change it to print authentication completed. Okay, it says for the authentication, we don't need this part. We don't need to print it. We just need to check whether the connection is complete or not. So for this, it is fine. So it is checking everything. If it is having an error, it will catch it here. So this part is done. We will check it again. It will not ask for any authentication. It will see, you can see authentication completed. So this also we can remove. Okay, this part we can complete it. So okay, so authentication is completed. Now we have to complete the Gmail sent email. method. So again, for that, we will be using the standard documentation. For that, we are trying to send email. So here we can see send email. Send email, you can see so create email attachment, sending email. So this is the main part. This is the API. This is the line where we are using the API. So we have the service. We can see we have created this one here. So we have just need to create the service. This one like this, we will be creating the service inside mm, our Gmail. Sorry, this method, and we will be calling it and using this from this because authentication is already completed in the initialization, this constructor part. So we are passing this CRUD value. This CRUD value, we can share among the methods that we declared in the class. So we will be writing from there. So we can try creating this one. So try, we will be using, we can try it. So service we are trying to create, build using Gmail. And one. Okay, you have given it here. You can just complete it as well. And what we will do is we can go here and we have this part message. We can try it here, email message. Then we have to create the content and to form and subject we have to maintain. So here what we are doing is we are trying to pass it from our method call. We can pass it. Where's the definitions in email? We can pass. We are using to subject and message. And here we can pass the message dot set content SMSG. So we are passing the message from the main, from this call, the object call. Okay, passing the message, and we can set the message method, sorry, message object content. We are giving to we are passing the to address to whom we are sending the email, and the subject as well, message. We can give the subject. Subject is equal to, so that is again we are passing it. So these things we are passing. So till subject it is completed. Form I am not giving the form. That is fine. Then the two steps are we have to encode it into base64 and we have to create it as a dictionary. Here we are creating as a Python dictionary, and this dictionary in a raw format, raw as the dictionary label, and we are passing this dictionary in this API call. That is how it is work. We are except the catch is the HTTP error catch which we are doing. So that is the part where it is pending. So encode this part, we can directly copy paste. Most of the part is copy paste. Okay, decode. Okay, this is how we can split the line into two. We can use a slash, so we don't need to write it in the same line. It will consider it as a continuation, this part, using this one. Okay, so this one is completed, base64. Now we have to create the message. So we have decoded the message. So we encoded the message. Now we have to create the dictionary, Python dictionary. In order to call the API. So this is done. Now we have this one. You can write it here. Okay, so we are sending it. This message, we have a message function we are using. In the service object, in user method, we are using the message method. Then we are sending it. And this is the parameters which we are giving. The create message. Create message is the dictionary which we have created using the encoded message and this information. So that's it. We are sending it. And if you see an error, we have to catch it. So I guess this should work. Yes, this is completed. Try. And we have to pass, when we call it, we have to pass the two. We will just try. It is giving error. Okay, we will just give a sample. We are passing 2 and give my email address. Comma. Next, the subject and the message. Subject will be test. Message will be sample API message. Let us execute it. We are getting error. Okay, let me check. Okay. So this error I'm trying to fix, it's just alignment issue. Okay, I guess it will fix. Okay, it's fixed. So now we can try to run it. The email message is not, this function is not available. So we can try here. Yeah, this one we can use basics.g4. And this also will use here. Yes, now I guess it will work fine. Okay, insufficient permission. That is, I guess, because of the scope. Because since we are trying to send the email, read-only access is not enough. So that we can add the corresponding scope. Let us see where they have added the scope. Search for message. Check. We have to add the scope, modify. I guess we can add this scope. Let me check. Message, comma send. Okay, send. The scope is sent. Okay, so this is the scope. We will add that scope. Spell. Let's try to keep. Since we have added the scope, I will just delete the token and we have to give the authentication again. Okay. Okay, always running. We have to give the authentication again. It will ask for two scopes now, I guess. So here can see two scopes I have added. You can take both and access it. Message sent, completed, message. Yeah, it is completed. So we can check. Go to the email, send. Yeah, successfully completed. Sample message is successfully sent to my email address. So it's good. So this part has been completed. So we have to write the search method as well. Okay, search method as well. Search, what we are trying to give is we are just trying to pass a keyword, search keyword. We can pass some keyword. Oh, sample keyword we will pass. Here the logic will be, we'll be getting a keyword first. We can give keyword. Search keyword. And we have to implement the same logic like try catch. Same thing we will give. A try method. Same error we can give. Okay, this is done. This is done. So here the method which we are trying to use it, we have the service object. So we have to go to the message list. Using list, we can see this is the parameters which we can use. So same method we will be using message dot send. Instead of that, we will be using message dot list, and the parameters will be user id, path parameter same. Then other optional parameters are search string as well. This is a search string, and we can give the maximum results because it can hit like infinite number of possibilities, because so that's why we can limit it if required. And this q is the query example, like query string which we are trying to pass. So we can write the same as this one. So we will fetch, we can give some search id. We are fetching the ids of that messages. Service dot users dot messages dot list of user id is equal to me, comma q equal to keyword which we are passing, keyword, and we execute it. Execute. So it will fetch the message IDs. Okay, so this is how it works. So now we have to check it is getting filled or not. The message ID is getting any entry, like just we can directly try to print it. Search IDs. Can keep it here. Search ID. So for the time being, we will just comment this one. Okay, so we are getting, so you can see authentication completed, and we are getting some messages. So it will be in this format. We have to just loop the messages, because we will be having more than one message IDs. Search IDs we will be getting. So we have to loop through each search ID. Each search ID will be having the entire information of the message, like from to subject, the content. Content is again, it will be a raw format. We have to decode it into using base64. Then we have to print it. For that, what we have to do is we have to, we can just loop it for just try to print it like this. For I in, okay, search ID, and let us just see. Or maybe we can just debug and see the format. Okay, we'll just debug it. This file. Okay, search ID, search IDs. You can see the search ID. It will be having message. Message is having all the information, thread, number of threads. So messages. We can loop through messages. Can we try? We will try it. Okay, so we can search ID. We will try messages. We can look through messages. Yeah, so you can see the message ID and thread IDs. According to this search keyword, we can see the thread IDs and the mail IDs. Using the mail IDs, we have to fetch the email. For that, we can just write it. Basically, with this sample keyword, we have 5 matches in the email. So we have to now, we are trying to print the emails. First, we can get the message. We will get in the message as service dot users dot messages dot get user ID is equal to me, and we can pass the ID. We can pass the ID as ID to ID is equal to I of dot format is equal to all. Here also we can give different kind of formats. We are using full dot execute. Let us see. Message has been fetched. Now we can just try to print message. Okay, we can try it like this. Format is equal to full. Let me try. Okay. Okay, so messages are getting, you can see the information. We are fetching the message. So it is having a lot of information like details, sample, the message, the subject, the message, everything it is getting fetched. So we have to kind of, in this is kind of a, we are getting a JSON file or a Python in a dictionary. We have to get the data correctly from the Python dictionary. So for the message we can do, we can just debug and see what is the format of this message. We can just debug it. Okay, message, format of this message. We are having a message and we are having a, I guess this is having payload, we'll be having data. It's having header and body. Body is having data, header is having, okay, name, received values, from where, to, address, message ID. Okay, body. Okay, this is the information. Header is having the header information like from where we got the mail or to whom we sent the mail, from, to, subject, timing, all information, and the message will be in body. And I can see okay, but the data, this is the message, but it is encrypted. So we have to decrypt using base64. So we will try that. So instead of print message, we can type decoded data is equal to base64 dot, we can decode it, b64 decode of message. We can get it from the payload. So the first parameter, so the dimension is the payload. After that, we are getting the body. From body, we are getting into data. Okay, we will try this one now. So now we will print decode data. Okay, see, we got the message sample from event. This is the message sample API. This is from the send, because the same one, it is getting fetched. This is from send. This is from inbox. So these all details are already there in the message. We have to decode it. So this is again, it's completed. So this is how we are sending it. This is how we are fetching the mail. So if required, we can iterate through this message, and we can display all the information from to subject, the email content, all the information here. And so here we have to handle, we can write a int. So it's kind of a working model now. So we will just complete it by using a user interface. User interface, what we have to get this information from user. So for that, we will create if else. We will just create this one. We will create a while. It's not equal to 3. We can just give print Gmail API demo. Then we want for write mail, do for search, and we can give 3 for exit. And we can just give as choice is equal to 0. And what we can do, choice equal to option. We have to get an option from the user whether to send the email or search the email. So if choice equal to 1, then we can go for writing. We'll see if choice equal to 2, we can search it. So we can maybe get the keyword Mm, keyword is equal to input enter keyword. We can give a keyword, and using that we can pass this keyword as a search. So I guess it can work. So here also we can get the information from the user. If choice is equal to 3, we can just exit. Mhm. Exiting. Yes. Print. Wrong. I guess it should work fine. We can just check. Okay, option 1, 2, 3. We will 3, 4, exit. Okay, that's fine. Mm. Okay, write email, just a sample, wrong input. Then, so search email, we can give search email. Keyword is sample. We can see. We can check with option number 2 again. Search with the name Heaven. We can see only Heaven. This has been extracted. API. We can search again with like API. Okay, this message has been extracted. So this is working fine. Search is working fine. So send email. Maybe we can get the input from the user. To input to form is not required. Subject is equal to input. We can ask for subject. And the message is equal to input message. So we can pass these parameters here, to comma sub comma msg. So I guess it should work. So searching was, we have a fine, exit was fine. We will write to testing@gmail.com. Subject is testing 02, testing 02, message content. Okay, message sent. It's fine. It's getting returned. Message sent. I'm just exiting using 3. So we can check whether that message is sent or not. Yeah, this is again sent. So it's almost done. This is how we need to handle the API, and this could be a standard like a good Python example. If you have just completed the basics of Python, if you are trying to do some hands-on after completing the basics, because it will be completing almost all kind of iterations inputs, iterations, how to handle the loops, how to handle the dictionary data types, structure, other structures, how to call the API, how to define the class, all kind of basic things has been used in this sample. So I guess that's it. The same code has been uploaded to my GitHub, so you can refer that if required, and all the documentation, corresponding documentation, how to run it, how to get the, how to enable the API in the GCP, all has been included in the README. So that's it for today. Thank you.